Okay, how do I make sure or I orgasm during sex?
Oh, honey. I don't know.
Kimmy, we'll let you take that question.
Okay.
What do I do when the condom breaks? Wow.
Mm,
Okay. Does penis size matter?
absolutely.
Can you get pregnant in water?
Girl, yes.
Is this discharge normal?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Why does my vag why does my vag smell? Is there something that I can do to fix that? Sometimes it's itchy down there. Should I be concerned? Lordy geez, you guys. Yes and yes and yes.
First of all, vagina is actually just the opening portion. The whole thing is called your vulva. Then you have parts of your vulva.
Well, damn.
So yeah. Okay.
Open as that.
What's up, y'all? We back. It's your girl Q.
And I'm Saundra.
She's so nice. And Saundra. That's gonna sound so good. Welcome back to another episode of Into the Gray. We about to get in it, baby. We got a little spicy topic today.
I mean, is it spicy
It's
or
really
is it
not spicy.
necessary?
It's absolutely necessary. I would say this episode may be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? We gonna get into it, y'all. We're gonna be talking about our bodies. We're gonna be talking about feminine hygiene, all the things we should know. So I don't want to say vulgar because that's not the word.
It's not vulgar. I think it's
more
cringe.
explicit. I think it's gonna be a little more explicit today than it would be. I'm gonna say words like vulva, vaginal opening, anus and anal canal,
perineum, and pubic hair.
That part,
right?
So we're gonna get into it because, to be fair, I do feel like women are just not as educated as they need to be about their bodies. And by the time they are educated, it's usually in a doctor's office. It's usually by some other person.
Yeah.
And I am a full advocate for a woman learning her body immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, this episode is spawned by kind of some of the sad things that we've noticed that our girls just don't know. Like, for instance, one of the girls didn't know that her area had 2 holes and not just 1. You know, some of the things that we just aren't aware of. So we're gonna get into it, right? We're gonna get into it. So do you want to start by maybe some questions or?
Yeah,
because I have some questions.
Yeah, I actually pulled up a couple of questions when you suggested this topic originally, and it was very interesting to me. Just what kind of has been collected across the internet.
Yes.
So for young girls, young women, teens, tweens, young 20s,
Yes.
some of the most common questions that have been reported to women's clinics are around how they get pregnant.
Yeah.
What is okay and not okay about what's happening down there. So I'm going to go through a couple of them, just quick rapid fire, and then we're going to address a few.
Yeah, let's do that. I love
All
that.
right. So some of the questions are, can I get pregnant during my period? How do I make sure that I orgasm during sex? What do I do if the condom breaks? Does penis size matter?
Inquiring minds want to know. You don't know.
Does taking the pill at the same time each day really matter? And some questions that are more specific to our areas down there are, is this discharge normal? How should I prepare for my doctor's visit? Should I shave or should I wax? Can I go to my OBGYN when I'm on my period or should I wait? And one that kind of got me was, is it normal to feel as if you have to pee during sex?
We're going to circle back to why that one got you, but
yeah. But also, will I get a UTI if I don't pee
after sex? Questions that need answers.
Yeah, some of these were really curious. Also, is it normal for me to sometimes be itchy down there, or should I be concerned?
Yeah.
Some of these to me were like, you should be concerned.
Please call for help.
But also, I do understand that a lot of people are very undereducated about their personal bodies. I myself learned a lot later in life.
Yeah.
After having children of my own. And so I get it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to take some time to help people know what we know now.
Yeah.
And we learned very different times.
We did. Can I tell you? Okay. So I grew up very aware of my body.
Mhm,
Like, and I
mhm,
don't know if my mother was the advocate of saying, "Hey, you should be looking at yourself, touching yourself." But
mhm,
I
mhm.
was the person, maybe I had the mirror and I was like,
Mm,
"Ooh, what's that? And what's that? And what's that?" And
mm.
I was definitely curious. And then I had friends who didn't, and
Yeah.
I did, and I don't know where that comes from. And it is because I do feel like there is a level, and I talked to one of my students, and she's just
Mhm.
like very similar. She's just like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, I say, "Well, have you looked down there?" And she's like, I ain't
You're
never."
supposed to do that?
Yes, I'm like, "You need to touch things and feel things and squeeze them and see what happens. Like, you need to know."
Right.
And she's like, "Honestly, I'm just now getting," she's 19, "I'm just now getting comfortable with asking my friends and, like, asking my doctor." I think she just grew up with her mother basically telling her, "Don't do that. Don't do that.
Mm.
Don't touch it,"
Mhm.
and the sad part is you have a group of women, a lot of women who grow up not touching their bodies. They just wash, they do what, do what they
Mhm.
need to do, but they're not actually investigating. They're
Right.
not a and again, I'm a firm believer, you need to explore it, right? So you're not doing that, and then the first time you ever have that happen is by someone else.
Mm.
And that can be
Mhm.
very jarring. The
Mhm.
first time that you ever are touched is by a doctor, or the first time you ever touched is by another person,
Mhm.
and you don't even know what things do. And I just feel that's just not safe. I just think that's not safe because you should know your body before anybody else knows your body.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to ask you, like, kind of a personal question, but
Mhm.
you have two girls.
I do.
Do or have you or did you, I don't know, how did you navigate? Did you encourage them to, like, as young babies, like, don't do that? Or were you more of like, touch it and see? Like, how did you raise your
Mm.
girls to be aware?
Yeah, I think each kid is different, right? Their awareness of their bodies, their curiosity about their bodies, even their curiosity about others, it just develops at a different rate.
Yeah.
And so it really depends on the kid. But man, I don't think there was a systematic way that I approached that.
Yeah.
If they were exploring themselves in the bathtub or just whatever, I don't think it was something that I touched on. It was
Yeah.
more kind of like a do this, but not with soap or not with a washcloth. You're
Mhm.
gonna hurt your and
Yeah.
okay, so we have little pet names
So
for
we all
ours.
grew up with pet names for our
Right.
girls.
They very much know the real names, and it was really funny. They learned the real names early on
Yeah.
because I wanted them to know what they were actually called just so they could be confused. But when they were younger, it was Toot and TT. Okay,
Oh,
so
is it TT?
no, so these are Chi-Chis,
Oh.
Toot, and for a boy, it's a TT. Mhm,
Oh,
mhm,
that's
mhm.
funny.
Yes. So we would go around saying, "Oh, put that on your toot,"
Yeah.
or, "When you're in the soapy water, don't put the soapy water in your toot."
Yeah.
Like, "No, we're not gonna play with those bath crayons because those bath crayons are gonna hurt your toot." Like,
Bath
educating the
crayons.
right,
Crazy!
listen,
But kids.
but kids, right? Like,
Yeah.
and, like, they wanted to play with, I think they were at like, this was a time when, like, can we say this? Crayola was, like, blowing up with bath
Oh,
crayons and
yeah, you could
bath bubbles
draw
and
on
all
the
this stuff, and
walls and
and I was
yeah.
like, "We're not gonna put that or I'm not gonna allow you to play in your
Yeah.
bathtub with those, but you can put on a bathing suit and you can play for a little bit, and then we'll rinse you off and all
Yeah.
the things because those are toxic for your
Yes.
toot."
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but teaching them through that method of, like, saying, like, we're girls and our
Mhm.
holes go inside of us, and so certain things are comfortable to
Yeah.
be, around that space and certain things aren't, and
Yeah.
there's a way that you can protect it and keep it clean and all the things, but
Yeah.
or wiping. That was another
Mm.
education point of, "Nope, we don't
Mhm.
wipe like the boys wipe," or, "We
Mm.
don't
Yeah.
go potty and then not wipe at all
Yeah.
because we're
We not
girlies.
shaking
We
nothing.
have toots and not TTs."
That's
Right?
so
Like,
funny. Yeah,
so
yeah,
I think that's the way that I educated when they were younger, and now that they're grown into teens and there's a lot of conversations about, like, "I know you feeling a way."
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One conversation oh, she's gonna hate me for this.
She
I
won't.
may or may not put this part on there,
One
but,
conversation.
about 16th birthdays coming around, and my gift on a 16th birthday would be a vibrator. Like, explore
Mm.
yourself, know
Yeah.
yourself, please
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
because nobody else is going to be able to do that for you unless you know
You
how to do that
know.
for
I
you.
know. I know.
Mhm,
It's
mhm,
interesting. Um, and I think we all grew up that just to touch on the pet names, I
mhm,
remember watching an episode, of some show, but there was a doctor on there, and she basically said, fundamentally, we start off wrong. We start
mm,
by giving our body parts pet names, and it almost
mm.
teaches this version of, like, I don't wanna say shame,
Shame,
but yeah, so you
yeah.
won't say my
My
vagina,
vagina.
you'll say my pee-pee, my poo-poo, my tea-tea, my ta-ta, right? And it's all
Yeah.
of this, like, hiding what's
Mhm.
happening and you just disguise it. And I thought, well, that's an interesting concept because I grew up with a pet name too, like, and so almost taking that shame away because these are parts that we have, and you will
Yes.
notice that they do certain
Yes.
things and temperatures and touches and, and to
All the
act
things.
like, yeah, to act like, that's not happening or,
Yes.
and I just realized like, dang, starting out not even naming what these parts are
Mhm.
almost creates this like faux privacy that you really don't have, at least with
Yes.
your own self.
Right.
Like you should be okay with being naked with your own self.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
know a lot of people who would cringe at the idea of you getting your
I know.
daughter,
I
but
know.
when I tell you I love that for
Mhm.
her because again, and I hate to say counsel, but that's really what it was, where I have done plenty of church women, like
Me being one of them.
way back when one time, but now, baby. But a lot of these church girls who are
Mhm.
taught your body is, and it's true, your body is sacred, your body is holy, your body is for you and not for anybody else. It is.
Yeah.
Until it's for someone else, it is for you. But
Right.
also, while it's for you, you're not allowed to do
Explore
anything
it.
with it, right?
Yeah.
And so then these same women, now they grow up with this mentality. They're 20, 21. All they want to do is be a wife and a mother. And
Mm.
they just want to just do all the things. And then the week before the wedding, they're freaking the fuck out. And they're
Yes.
calling me, and I'm not making this up. I'm in a restaurant with one of the girls, and she is tearing up
Mm.
because she's scared. She doesn't know what to expect.
Mm.
And of course she's scared because
Yeah.
she's been told that not only is her body for not for her,
Right.
and you're just holding on to it till you can give it to some man.
Yes. And I was just gonna say that because you mentioned, like, your body is for you, it is holy, it is all these things, and I beg to differ. Like,
Mm.
young girls, especially in our faith practice, were not taught that their body was theirs at
Oh,
all.
yeah, yeah,
From the
yeah.
time of birth, your body is the Lord's.
Yes,
You are sacred, and you are to honor your father and your mother. It
yes.
is never
It's a
yours, and
temple.
it is a temple, and then when you get married, it is your
Ain't
husband's.
that some
So,
bullshit,
no,
bro?
as a Christian woman, it was never ours, right?
That is crazy.
Right. I remember having this conversation with you. I think I was 26,
Yeah,
maybe 26. I had all 4 of my babies already,
yeah,
so I had to been at least 26 or 27.
yeah.
But I remember coming to you and being like, "You make it sound like it's so fun."
I'm like,
I
'cause it
wanna have that
is.
fun.
Right.
And I remember expressing, like, not frustration, 'cause I don't think I ever allowed myself to feel frustration, but, like,
Yeah.
curiosity,
Yeah.
and saying, like, "Well, I've never experienced that, like, climax that you talk about, like,
Explosion.
I
Yeah.
wanna do that."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and you looked at me like, "You have 4 kids. Like, what do you mean?
What has been happening?
Like, what are you doing?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm good at it, I think,
Right.
for someone else's pleasure." But
Right.
I had truly given myself over to the idea that my body was not my own, that
Yeah.
sex was not for my pleasure, that it
Yes.
was truly
You
for
even said that to
his
me. You were
pleasure.
like, "Well, it's for him." And I'm like, "That's a
Mhm.
fucking lie."
Yes, and you
Because
said
I
that.
literally and I was like, "Listen, you have a network of nerves
Mhm,
in your body.
mhm,
Listen,
mhm,
there are more nerves in your clitoris
mhm.
than there are at the tip of a man's penis. When I
That's
tell you the amount
crazy.
of nerve endings, also, sidebar, those nerve endings run down the m- major and
The
minor,
perineum?
major and minor labia, which are
Okay.
your lippies.
Uh-huh,
Okay. They run down that. They also run into the perineum and
uh-huh.
into the around the anus. So this whole area is full
Mm.
of nerve endings.
Teach him, Kimmy,
I'm trying to tell
teach
you.
'em.
Listen, this might be my forte. Okay. Nerve endings everywhere.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
listen, also side note for those of you trying to learn how to please someone, it's more than just the one button. It's a bunch of nerves
Lots of
everywhere.
buttons.
There's a lot of buttons,
Spell some
okay?
words or
Spell some
something.
words. Travel up and down the highways and byways. But anyhow, all that to say, I'm like, Saundra, ain't no way that it's for
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
The amount of feeling that is there is
Mhm.
no way it's for him.
Yeah.
And like that is something that you were like, what?
I couldn't process
Yeah,
it.
but that wasn't uncommon to
Yeah.
hear. Not so you got the girls who are freaked out before because
Mhm,
they don't know what to do.
mhm.
They've never touched it. they don't know what they like.
Mhm.
And my thought is, why don't you know what you like? Like, you've I'm not gonna act it out.
Act it out, act it
I was
out.
like, you've never like done a little, nothing. But listen, I'm like just being aware of what your body does in the shower, watching how your body responds with cold water, warm water. Like, you saw a movie, you saw a person, and this,
Mhm.
like, you're being aware of what your body is doing. So you have these people who have never,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And then you have maybe some who are more just apt to be like, it's not for me,
Mhm.
right? That question of like, how do I make sure I get mine? It's
Mhm.
just like, what do you mean? Like, these problems can be alleviated if you just explore your own body.
Yeah.
And
And that's it, because I honestly would say, "Oh, it's not him." Like, it
mm,
is I have no idea, like, the
what I
questions have been asked, but I have no
no idea.
idea
Right.
how to get
Right.
there.
Right.
Mhm.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
How would you encourage someone to like explore themselves in a way
Mm.
that's not like
Mhm.
creepy and like,
Mhm.
like what would you say to someone?
There is nothing shameful about knowing what you've been created to be, right?
Mm.
If it was created, then
Mhm.
it has a purpose,
Mhm.
right? We have however many nerves you just said
Yeah.
that were created in such a way to give us pleasure.
Absolutely.
And therefore, they're purposeful. Therefore,
Absolutely.
learn about them. They are not
Absolutely.
shameful. If anything, it elevates the connection that you have with your person,
Or
because
even
you're
with
with
yourself.
yourself for sure. Knowing the society that we live in, knowing what many of these girls who lack this knowledge are pushed into,
Yeah.
it will elevate anything that you're trying to uphold and honor.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely. Agree. That was a great way to put that. And I think it's kind of bad because we give boys this kind of like, oh, they're 12 and 13, this is what they do. They just want to touch. And
Your
we
body's naturally going to desire this,
we give
So
all
we
kinds of
will give you all
space
the grace, yes,
for that. Yeah.
to let your little part lead. And when your brain
Your
can't
little
make logical
partly.
decisions.
Yeah.
But the same is for women.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel those urges, when you feel that desire, when you see that person, you like, that's
Explore that.
real.
Yeah.
Explore it.
Yeah. And I think too that like women are, I would say they may, I don't know, but I would say maybe they're getting a little, I don't know what the word would be, more okay with talking about their bodies and they're being more okay with,
I think it depends on what circles you run in.
yeah,
Because I think, yes, we are. I think a lot of the
right.
people in the communities that we decide to keep around ourselves do.
Yeah.
But there is still this very polarizing conversation that says if that's what you're seeking after, then you already are sinful because you are
Mm-hmm.
seeking after worldly pleasures.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is
right?
insane.
Right.
It's
But
insane.
it's only framed that way when it's the woman
Yeah.
desiring the pleasure.
Yeah.
But when it's the man, like, oh, it just
It's
naturally
natural.
comes
It's
to the
natural.
man to want this, to need this. I was make sure you never withhold this from your man because they need
Can
it.
we talk about that for a second? Because you just made a fantastic point.
Mhm.
So not only are women not encouraged to explore this, but then when they are married, they're expected to be this fucking sex kitten out
Everything.
of nowhere.
Yes.
So you want me to be at 0, then you want me to be at 100
After you've taught me that it's the most shameful thing for me to want to do or
on
engage
my
in,
own or
to
alone.
wear red lipstick or red heels or be sexy or seductive or any
Yeah.
of these things is wrong
Right.
until I'm in marriage and I should do it in the bedroom
Now
for my
all of a
husband.
sudden, my job is to like become this person I've never been.
Yes.
I've never sucked a dick. What do you want me to do with it?
Right.
Right? Like, what? We've never even talked about that. My
Right.
mom, well, not my mom, but these
These
girls,
girls.
my mom would die,
Never
But then
let
it's
me do
also like,
this.
well, honey, that's what we do when we're married.
Right. But
And not that you should be
how?
training your, how to suck a dick. But what I'm saying is, cut that
But
out.
there can be some
But
guidance.
there can be some guidance as
Yeah.
far as like what to expect. Like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what happens to a man.
Yes.
The amount of women
Mhm.
that I've had surprised
Mm.
at what happens when they do a good job at
Mm.
fellatio,
Mm.
right? And then they're like, I had no idea. And I'm just like, now you're walking away from a moment that could have been really connective and you're feeling kind of like grossed out and you're
Mhm.
feeling, I don't know, demeaned a little bit and you just don't know what to feel because you didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And it's just, there's so much missing. But then the expectation is, but when you get married, all of a sudden it all falls out the sky and you got it and you're going to be good at it and there's going to be no problems.
Mhm.
Where? What?
Mhm.
Where they do that at?
Mhm.
Like,
So there is this thought that as a good, pious Christian woman that you should wait until marriage for
Mhm.
every physical connection.
Go.
Um, there's this understanding that because you are in this position of living, you are pious, you are pure, you are untouched,
Mm.
that everything except for hand holding and maybe a peck is unacceptable
Yeah.
until after marriage.
Yeah.
Then you marry and you find that you hate the way this person kisses, or you are not in sync when they touch you, or
Ooh, you was spilling the
their
tea right now,
hands
baby.
are too rough, or just whatever. There is no chemistry beyond the fact that you are both Christians and you have both made this
Mhm.
devout, connection with yourselves and God, right?
Right.
I hate that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't purity culture in and of itself is shame for women
Mhm.
and control and power to men.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yes.
But also, I think there's a way to teach women how to explore themselves and their partner with safety.
Mhm.
I believe that it should be done with discernment.
Mhm.
I don't believe it should be done loosely or with, a flippant spirit. But
Right.
I do think that there should be permissions there
Yeah.
to say we need to not only have relational compatibility, but we need to have sex.
For sure. For
Such.
sure. This is the kicker to your only from experience, right? So you save yourselves and you do it the right way and you do, but now it's not great. It's terrible. You can't get
Yeah.
right. But guess what the mandate is now, wife?
Stay
Mm,
together forever.
mm,
Don't touch yourself. You'll
mm.
make it better.
Like literally, it's like we'll just work through that, work that out.
Yes.
But we could have done that prior.
Yeah.
Like
Or
we
we
could
could have
have
said, we are meant to be great lifelong
friends.
friends, but we are not meant to be
Right.
lovers. And
Right.
there is
Yes,
a
a huge
difference.
difference.
And there's no room given for there to be that like deep platonic relationship and
Right.
for it not to lead into romance.
Right.
Like there is a difference
Right.
between who you're tied to romantically and who you're tied to
Yeah, the
platonically.
expectation is that if you are in a opposite sex relationship and you
Mm.
guys are building a relationship that it's going to eventually supposed to lead to marriage.
And if it doesn't, then you can't be
Right,
friends.
there's no room for dinners and
Mm.
there's no room for that intimacy outside of it's leading to marriage or sex or whatever that case is, which is terrible
Insane.
because then
Worst
like you
advice
said,
ever.
yeah, you're saving and I'm
Yeah.
just
There
flabbergasted.
Yeah, there was a podcaster, and I don't remember their name, but essentially it was after the interview with, I wish I knew a little bit more pop culture. Don't
It's
remember.
okay.
This man did an interview and he basically said, "I don't have any women friends. I don't believe in women and men being friends, and there is no woman that is close to me in relationship that I'm like not trying to fuck." Basically,
That is wild.
it was crazy. Mind you, this person employs so many women, right? And this person has relationships with
So
women
many
that
women.
are supposed to be platonic, but he's basically saying, "Oh, no, they're fuckable or they wouldn't be in my circle."
Wow.
Yes. And I'm like, that is the type of man that we create when we say that men and women can't have deep platonic
Relationships, yeah,
relationships,
yeah,
right? And when we don't teach the difference between a romantic tie,
yeah,
we end up sexualizing every woman.
yep,
Okay. Or every man, right?
yeah,
This could go
for
both
sure.
ways, but we end up looking at every person of the opposite sex or every person that we are supposed to be like in a
Mhm.
relationship with as, am I attracted to them or am I
Is this a
not?
mate? Is this a
If
person that I'm gonna be yeah,
Basically.
yeah.
I remember going to a gathering for a church event, and this new guy arrived, right?
All them
All the
girls.
girls were like, "Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy?"
Mhm,
So every girl in the place is chasing after this one new
yeah.
fresh meat
Piece of meat.
person.
I was gonna say piece of meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember being approached by this individual and then being like, "What's your name?" And I'd be like, "You don't need to know."
You don't need to
You know
know.
what I mean? But,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
being, like, immediately disturbed
Yeah.
because I'm like, "You know that every woman in here
It's checking
has
for
been
you.
set up" yes, has been set up basically to, like, fiend over you and chase after you, so you have pick of the litter basically,
Mhm.
because you as a man, you don't have to do that, but a
Yeah.
woman these women are looking to be chosen,
Yeah.
right?
That's a
Because
whole
their
nother
worthiness is
episode.
caught up in
Mhm.
Being chill.
Mhm.
That is another
We
episode. Another
listen, we
episode.
you
But
know
let's
what?
get back to they couldn't tell the difference between meeting a person and seeing if there was some type of platonic connection
Yeah.
before they immediately went to, oh, potential
Husband.
mate.
Yeah, that's my man.
That's my
He
man.
which is crazy,
That's
right?
a man.
That is a man, and he just walked into this church. Let's hope he is a Christian or a believer. Whatever you are, let's hope
Is
he's
he
one of them too.
kind? Is he funny?
But then can he kiss you?
Can he kiss
And
you?
does he, like
Does he hold your hand the right way without it turning into like a drippy mess? Yeah, like
So have you okay, maybe not.
what? No, no,
I'm
no.
like, have you like taken the mirror and been like, I need to make sure
I
everything is good?
have.
Okay.
I have.
I love that.
I didn't start doing that until I was single.
What?
Yes.
I was just my second question was gonna be, what was the turning point for you when you were like, yo, I need to be like paying attention?
Yeah, yeah. The first time that I saw my parts was as my son's head was crowning from my vajayjay. I never wanted to see it again.
Well, that would be a disturbing first full
Right.
image. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I didn't really explore. I think the second time I looked at it was after my youngest daughter, and that was just because something felt like it was off, and turns out it was.
Yeah.
Weirdest thing ever. TMI.
I think I remember this.
Do you remember this?
No,
So
maybe not. Was it coming
my
out?
tear, it
Oh.
wasn't that it was coming out, but my tear had reopened,
Oh.
and so there was matter that should be in the back moving to the front, and it was
No.
so disgusting.
Yeah.
Very disgusting, but also, I mean, you would never know if you didn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You
But
just
something just felt like it wasn't right, but I didn't know what it was supposed to look like. So even looking down there, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but
I'm
something's
looking,
happening.
but I don't know what I'm looking
I don't know
for.
what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, that was the second time. And then I didn't look at it anymore. And I didn't look at it again until I was single.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh, well, one, I'm just kind of curious.
About
But
time we met.
but two, like as a single person, you're out and about and you're meeting people and all the things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
any inkling of something changing, like they gave me something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, what is this? Itch? No.
No.
No. It couldn't be that it's just hot
Is that a
outside.
bump? Could it be a razor bump?
No, it couldn't
It
be.
must be.
Must have gonorrhea syphilis. He got me. God damn it, he got me. I trusted him. Gonorrhea syphilis. Listen, I get that though. Like under duress, you're like,
Under duress.
I need to see it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what's a good age to tell girls to start peeking and start looking?
Man, as soon as you start feeling yourself a little bit. And I think that's different for every girl.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start, is there a little tingle?
Yeah.
Take a look.
Yeah. And that's my thing too. My encouragement is not like, oh, girls should be like jacking off, at 14 or 15 years old. That's not what I'm saying.
They're
If
doing
it
it.
leads to that's fine. If it
Yeah.
leads there
Mhm.
and you find yourself like, oh, this is what I end up liking, then that's fine. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is you need to be feeling, touching, opening, squeezing, understanding what's going on.
What you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
Like it is so different. Like the internet is full of like examples of what you can or you can't do, all of the things you're gonna I mean, it's
Mhm.
kind of like introducing a 13-year-old boy to like corn,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
They're going to be watching things that aren't necessarily like
True, that's not
pleasurable
real
to either
life.
person, right? It's
Mhm.
just some, perversion from somebody's head,
Yeah.
right? But knowing for yourself, like, do you like pressure? Do you like tender? Do
Right.
you like
Right.
fast?
Right.
Slow?
Right.
A little mixture of both.
Right.
Nobody's going to know that for you unless you know that for
Right.
you.
And depending on your personality, I've seen it too where women are just a little more like quiet about it. And so they might not be liking it, but they're not going to tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
They might not be
14
finding
years.
any type of, right. You might not be finding any type of fulfillment, but you're not saying anything.
Mhm.
Like,
Or there's a level of fulfillment, but maybe you're never reaching that max. That is a problem.
that is a problem.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Problem.
Yeah. What would
Yes.
be your like I remember your advice to me. But what would be your like advice for people, young people who are in relationship already to just ensure that both individuals are being satisfied?
Yeah, my yeah.
Mhm.
My advice it depends. It would depends. If they're in a relationship
Mhm.
and they trust this person, then I would tell them I would say what I thought I told you at the time would be like, let them know, like, first of all, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
like this. This like be very honest about it.
Yes.
But I think there's a way where you can be like, "Hey, can you try this and let me see how I feel? Hey,
Mhm.
will you try this? Oh, yes. Nope,
Mhm.
I don't like that one." And I
Mm.
think you can figure it out together. If you're not in a relationship and you're kind of like single and you're floating and you're not catching it, spend some time with yourself. Figure out what button works because some people are one way, some people are another way. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that would be my thing. I think that
Mhm.
especially if you're already in a relationship, and we talked about this in our Q&A, if it's not healthy enough and you don't feel safe and you can't communicate like what's
Mm.
going on and what's not going on, you probably need to be in a different relationship. First off, if you can't tell your person that
Yes.
you're not finishing or you're not climax or you're not enjoying something,
Yes.
you're probably not in the right relationship.
Yes. And that
Period.
that can be determined either by your maturity and ability to communicate in
Mhm.
relationship or by
Them
theirs.
to be
Yeah.
able to receive because
Right.
9 out of 10 times the man is gonna get his. That's
Mhm.
just the way friction works. Um, but I will say too, one of the questions is like, how do you ensure? Like, oh, some women, okay, aren't just penetration only. Some women need to
Yes.
be multifaceted, right? You need to
Uh-huh.
be touching a couple of things
The
at
whole
one time,
thing.
right?
The whole
And
thing.
there's a study that I've trust me, I know my studies.
Mhm.
There's a study that came out and it's like over 50% of women do not make it there by that
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
Like there has to be some multitasking involved.
Yes.
And so, but you might be that person who can do that.
Uh-huh.
You don't know that till you
Yeah.
know that,
Yeah.
like, and yeah, I would definitely be
And
like,
shape and size and all the things matter.
sorry,
Directional curve, whatever, okay?
that part.
It
Yeah, it does matter.
matters. It
And guess what? You know
matters.
what's crazy? It's not like there's somebody for everybody
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I, I watched TikTok and a girl, she had like a ruler and she was like, 3 inches, and then she was like, this is fine. 5 inches, this is great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm in my head like, girl, bye. Pull that up further, right?
I'm with her. I'm with her.
I'm just saying, some people don't want a lot. They don't
Yeah.
want a curve.
Yeah.
But you won't know. And not that you need to go try everything out. That's not
You
what I'm
don't.
saying.
You don't. And if you meet someone and you're like, "Oh, we're great, we click," and then you see that and it's not what it's okay to walk away.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay to
You don't
walk
have to
away.
make that work.
You don't have to make that
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, it's a very sexy kind of way. Like if you know what you like and you're with somebody and they don't got
Mhm.
it,
Mhm.
if you
Mhm.
could look in them and say, "Let me show you what I like real quick."
Not the
Th-
let me show you what I like real
They're
quick.
not gonna be like, "I feel a certain type of." They'd be like, "Okay, show me."
Yeah. Yeah, but you gotta be able to say like Kimmy just said it. Or you could be like me and be like, "Mm-mm."
See, no, babe, no. Mm-mm. Hit them
Mm-mm.
with the mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
You gotta be able to tell somebody they're not doing a good job without making them feel like they're not doing a good job. You know what I'm saying?
That's not my gifting.
Like one of my things will be like, "Hey, don't move. Let me do it."
Y'all,
But
this podcast is so hard to do sometimes.
I'm crazy.
I'm like, tell me more.
But that doesn't make anybody feel away. They'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"Okay," but it's
Yeah.
because I know the rhythm I need to
Yeah.
we have the same goal here. Let me
We have
show
the
you.
same goal
Right.
here.
You want me there. I want me there. We have the same goal. So, don't be offended if I change the rhythm or I
Let
make
me
you be still.
let me
Let me get a cup of jelly
stay
beans.
right there. Imma eat these.
Yeah. Basically, you know what I'm saying? That's another good phrase right there. Stay right there. Imma eat this. You're crazy.
I
Oh
cannot.
gosh. Yeah.
A little bit of advice before we change topics. For those people who feel like they've explored themselves, they still can't quite figure out what takes them there,
Mhm.
but they want to share that intimate time with somebody else.
I would say do that.
Mm,
I would say do it because I will say this, sometimes it is another person's touch that makes it that's the extra mile.
that's all that you were
That's all you
missing.
right? Because you could be there, but thinking
Mhm.
about this, imagine also being kissed at the same time. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now level 1 has become level 10 because now
Mm.
right? So
The combination of all the
yes,
different
or
sensations.
you're smelling someone else, or you're
Mm.
hearing someone else. So
Mm.
that might be the thing that takes it over. So you've explored, it's not quite getting you there. Okay, I would say bring someone trusted that you know what I'm saying, and you could talk
Mhm.
to about it and let them know,
Talk
like
it through.
yeah. Um, I'm also a person, and I don't know if you're this way, when I'm with my partner, I'm very, like, we're both looking at the same time. Like, I
Mm,
want you to see what I'm seeing, and, like, we're talking about it. Like, I don't
mm.
want you to just be, like, confused when you're there, right? Let's
Check it out.
and I'm also looking, and I'm like, "How does that feel? How does
Mm,
this feel? Do you
mm.
like that?" Like, I wanna know because everybody is different,
Mhm,
and to your
mhm.
point, we watch a lot of corn, we don't know, we just doing what we see. Like,
Exactly,
what?
and half of that is all showmanship. It's
It is
all
they're
some
paid
sick person's
actors.
fantasy that
Yeah,
isn't even, like, pleasurable to the
yeah,
people who are doing it at all whatsoever.
at all whatsoever.
Not a
Yeah,
fan.
yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, my other question, which I think you'd be, very apt to answer, just because you like, "What's up, doc? What's going on?" When you have something that's off or whatever, like, a lot of people deal with shame around it.
Mm,
What's your advice for them, like, if they think something's off, if they think
yeah,
something doesn't feel right, or,
yeah.
just whatever, to get over that shame to go in and ask questions?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm a firm believer just in I get tested every year
Mhm.
just because things lie dormant for 20 years. You never know,
Yeah,
right? Even
yeah.
if I've not changed partners, I'm still getting but every time I walk into that thing and I'm like, "I'm here for my panel,
"Hello,
guys."
can you please
Yeah,
take
so
it?"
I that is hard,
Yeah.
but I will say that your health matters more than the shame, and I
They're
feel like it's
doctors,
more
they
shame
study this.
listen, and I mean, this is what they're paid to do,
Yes.
like, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just one of those things that you just don't have to get over.
Yeah.
And I think the more you know about your body, the sooner you'll be able to tell something is off or not right,
Yes.
and you can get that I think the embarrassment comes when you've sat for so long and now there are symptoms, and now
Yes.
you're having to, like right? I think
Yes.
if you're aware of yourself early enough, you'll be able to maybe TMI, but immediately I'll know if I have a yeasty.
Mhm.
I will know within like, I'll be sitting there and all of a sudden I'm like, something's awry."
Yep.
And it
I
I
love sugar, so I know
yeah, yeah,
immediately, like, "You've ever done it with the sugar there, buddy. Like,
right,
go get a cleanse and go
right.
get it taken care of." Yeah, yeah,
Meanwhile,
yeah,
you
yeah.
have people who have been
Yeah.
7 days within this thing, they don't know what the hell's happening, and they're not saying anything about
Mm.
you know what I mean? And now that's the
Yeah.
shame, like I was about to
Yeah.
say something real gross, but you know what I'm saying? Now you're
Uh-huh.
coming with all the issues, and
Mm.
now you feel shame, and
Yeah.
I think that can be avoided
Yeah.
but ultimately, you gotta
Yeah.
just do it,
Yeah. And just to kinda take it full circle, I think this is why it's so important to educate yourself about your vajayjay and
Yeah.
how it operates and how it works because they're so delicate. The
The cave of
smallest
wonders.
yes, the smallest thing can set it off,
Yeah,
or upset your pH balance or all of the things, and
yeah.
there is no shame in that, including your partner. Your
Yes.
partner's
I
fingers,
was
your
listen,
partner's
yes,
personal part, your partner's whatever,
yes.
a lotion that you're using, a new body
A
wash that you're
washcloth
using,
that you
a
maybe
washcloth.
swapped out for yeah,
Yes. No matter what, like, there's so many different factors that go into,
yeah,
like, our sensitive parts
yeah,
being healthy that
mhm,
there's no shame in it. Like,
yeah,
ask before it gets worse. Like you said, it's kinda like a car. You have to take it in for its month
right,
or not monthly, but it's, quarterly whatever oil changes, and
right,
if you don't, then the engine gets jacked up. If the
right.
engine gets jacked up, then the transmission gets all messy. Like,
Yeah,
all these things
are
lead to
connected,
larger
mhm,
problems.
yeah,
Our vajayjays,
yeah, but
if
I
they're
will
not happy
but to your point, a lot of this, even if you think
Mhm.
about a car, it's regularly scheduled maintenance. This is just
Regularly scheduled
normal wear and
maintenance.
tear from a car.
Yes.
You're not gonna be, like, ashamed if your tire goes
Yes.
flat. That's what
Yes.
happens.
Yes.
Like, our caves are the very, very same way. Like, I had an
Yes.
experience last year, and I never had this happen, but there was, like, a bacteria.
Yeah.
I go to the ER because 'cause I'm like, "I think I'm dying,"
Oh
and the
god.
nurse is like, "Oh, yeah, we get this all the time.
So
There's no big
normal. We
deal."
got this.
I'm like, "How do I stop this?" He's like, "You can't. It's just" and
We
I'm
have to
like,
help you.
"What?" And
Uh-huh.
there's like, "There's nothing you can like, this just happens." And I'm
Mhm.
like and then I realize there's 500 other people in there that's like, "Oh, yeah, this" I'm like, "What?" So, yeah, there are some
Yeah.
things that we naturally wanna take responsibility for that we don't have to if we're
Mm.
just aware of what bodies do. Like you say, our
Yes.
pHs changes. Like
Yes.
there's a smell, it's supposed to smell that way. It's not
Yes.
supposed to smell like flowers and roses.
Right.
Although but it's supposed to have
Right.
a natural kind of scent to it.
Yes.
And I think that we just don't know. Like
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say all kind of shit. I'm not gonna say it.
Say it.
But I check myself often. Like,
Yeah.
I'm constantly, like,
Yeah.
fingers in there. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"We're good."
Still good. Still good. Somebody
I'm
asked
just
me, I
saying.
don't know if it was you or if it was somebody else who asked me, like, "Do you know what you taste like?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yes.
Yes. One, it is a good parameter for
Ah,
whether I am hydrated or not.
girl.
And so that's very helpful. But also, like, again, I love sugar. Sugar doesn't produce the same down there as greens
Yeah,
or, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So, like, you wanna make sure that you're constantly flushing and cleaning out
yes,
and that yes, like,
yes.
I wanna taste good,
Hello,
okay?
let me tell you, I am constantly aware of what's happening.
Yes.
Like, any shift, I'm like, "Oh,
Yes. Hold on.
wait a
What's
second."
happening?
Yeah,
But also for those that are like shamed, like you say you go into a clinic to get your testing like
yeah,
every year. So I'm the same. I'm not like super active, but I'm active enough. And
yeah.
so but I mail it in because I'm a little shamed.
Discreet, you not
Listen,
shy, baby.
I'm not shamed, but at the same time, listen, my office, my doctor's office in my primary is so small. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I see the same people and
Oh,
students
yeah, yeah, yeah,
over
yeah,
and over
yeah.
again. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to be the one that's coming in here like every quarter or whatever.
Mhm.
But in the state of Alabama, you can go online and you can request like a full
Yeah.
5-point panel and you can do it at home in the comfort of your own home
Yep.
and send it in.
Yeah, and
And
be
3 days
no
later,
one
the
be the
lab
wiser.
exactly, the
Right.
lab comes back and they say, "Oh, you're good,"
Yeah.
or, "Oh, we're gonna give you a call." One time over a holiday, I sent mine in and I was like, "It's been 3 days. I
And I
haven't
hadn't heard
heard
anything.
anything.
What's
Me, what is
what?
happening?"
Oh
And
my
then,
gosh.
of course, it was a holiday, so then I
Yeah.
got my
I
stuff
had a
back and it was
similar
all clear, and I was
experience.
like,
They text me and they were
"It's the
like, "Please
worst
call
3
your
days."
provider." And I was like, "What? What? Why? Because you normally just post it online."
Best
Like,
3 days of my
and
life.
I go online to find it and it's like, "Please call your provider." I'm like, "I don't."
I don't wanna call.
Apparently the website was down. I called and she's like, "You're fine." And I'm like, "You fuckers. I
Put me
thought I
through that.
died." Gosh, I knew this was gonna be the way it ended. I know it. My pleasure is my pain.
Yeah.
No.
But there is nothing shameful
Yeah.
about ensuring that you're healthy
Yeah.
so that you can then ensure that your partners are healthy,
Yes.
and yeah.
And I would invest in a three-way mirror. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing
Yeah.
shameful about
I
knowing
don't have a
what it
three-way
looks like.
mirror.
Or one way, it's fine, but
Mm.
there's nothing wrong. And I would suggest looking from root to tooth. Okay?
From the rooty to the tooty.
Look at your anal area, look at all that because you'll know.
Mhm.
Listen, if you look at it enough, you'll start to know when things look different,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
like
I also realize the places that I can't reach when I'm shaving.
you're like, "Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
this is
like,
what
"Oh,
I need."
this is why we wax."
I love getting
Darn.
waxed. It's my jam.
Listen,
I'm telling
I
you.
did it. I did it for a little while and it got weird.
Oh,
It got
did
weird.
they
My
flip you?
waxer was like, I mean, no.
Oh,
Just mostly the butterfly and whatever. But my waxer was like, "It's really pretty. Like, I can't believe that you have had 4 kids." And I'm like,
this is not the compliment you think it is, ma'am.
It's
You're
not. And it's
creeping me
actually
out.
this is creeping me out just a little bit. And it's the same person every time. And so I'm
She's very happy when you pull up.
like, I need to find a new person. But then I just never
Oh,
did. I
that
never
never
went
hits
back.
out. Sorry.
I don't
I love this. Let it go, honey. Let it
I never
go.
went back. I take care of
Yeah.
myself now.
Wrap it up. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now looking back, knowing what you know,
Mhm.
would you have done anything maybe different with the girls? And
Mm.
would you, um, what would you recommend for parents, mothers raising their daughters in this way? Like, how could you?
Yeah. I think one, remembering to put ourselves in our daughter's shoes, right? We were once girls. We know the way that we wanted to explore our bodies, or the way that we did
Mm,
explore our bodies, or the way that we did experiment, or the way that we were fearful, all the things. We know those things.
yeah.
I think that I've always given my daughters a safe space to talk about, probably talked about it too much to where they were like,
Mom, please.
shut up. Like, it's fine. We don't
Yeah.
have to tell us every little detail. We definitely don't want to hear every detail about you. Like, it's fine. But yeah, or even sex talks, like just being completely open, like, you like that person? How you feeling? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like being completely open to
Yeah.
let them know, like, this is normal behavior. There is no shame here.
Yeah.
What you're feeling is normal and okay, but there is a safe and responsible way to go about
To
exploring it.
explore that. Yeah.
And there is, a irresponsible way to go about it.
Yeah.
And if we're going to explore this, let's learn how to talk to a professional, a doctor about all of these things. And if you're going to be active in this way, then you're going to test every 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't care what you tell
Yeah.
me about what you do or you don't have going on.
That part. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
people lie.
Yes.
I
And
love that.
teenagers share so many things.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Mm.
I love that. And I think honestly that's a great point. I to remember that we were once girls who were trying to explore and the questions we had
Yeah.
and all of that. So yeah, I think that's perfect advice. You're such a good mom.
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Aw.
I love it.
Eh.
Yeah.
Talk to my children.
So on that note, ladies, touch yourselves.
Touch yourselves.
Find out.
Go into the gray.
F around and find out. Yeah. Go into the gray, baby. Yeah. We love you guys. We'll catch you next episode. Over and out.